Hello everyone. Welcome to our Café Croissant of the month. I'm Antonio Gambardella. I'm always here with you from Fongit, but from a different Fongit. And I will tell you in just 1 second. Today is a pretty kind of cold day in Geneva. Is autumn in Plan-les-Ouates, Geneva, and I hope you're having also a good day. Started this morning with a great coffee from my side. I'd like to start by introducing the people that and the friends and the colleagues that are joining me in this Café Croissant. As usual, I have the pleasure to introduce you to Ingeborg from Campus Biotech Innovation Park, Geneus. Ingeborg, are you there?
Good morning, Antonio. Yes, I'm here. Almost didn't make it. What a wind. I was cycling past the lake and it's just so windy today and cold. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, you are right. It's a bit depressing, but we try to beat it with a smile. And also we should have from our new brand cafeteria, we should have James with us.
Good morning. We have real croissants and we have real people here.
Hello everyone. Good croissant.
Yeah, this is the advantages of the physical world. I think you're going to find beating temptation easier than me, but at the end of this, I'm going to have one of these.
Yeah, so, and I will join you then.
This is what I really look like without a mask.
Yeah. So thank you both for being here. So we will hear a lot of interesting news from Geneus and Campus Biotech, as well as very nice things happening at Fongit. But let's kick off with probably the most significant thing that happened to Fongit in the last few months. That is a new Fongit. In fact, we just moved in a new place, in a new home. So, and as you know, there is no place like home, and we very much feel this new environment being part of us already. So here you see on this slide this kind of institutional picture with a big inauguration event, because it was streamed online. And we know that most of you joined that event online. We have more than 1,000 people viewing our event. So thank you for that. It has been done with new technology, 360 camera technology, which has been really impressive, with really impressive results. And thank you the people who can make it possible, and in particular the team from Fongit, Evelyn and the team. They did a great job for making this happen. And of course, the move is thanks to the entire Fongit team, in particular Emmanuel. So thank you, Emmanuel, again for this great move. It's a Fongit 4.0. Why? Because we started in Plan-les-Ouates in CTN. And then we moved to Blue Box in 2012. We started in 1991. We moved in 2012 Blue Box. Then in 2016, Geneus was born at Campus Biotech Innovation Park. And now in 2020, end of 2020, we have the opportunity to have new fantastic offices. New offices because our model evolves. Our supporting activity for the companies is demanding more and more services for our extraordinary and engaged entrepreneurs. So more demanding entrepreneurs demands more from us, and so this is why a new office is reflecting this additional support we can provide to all our exigent entrepreneurs. So I think I can also show you a bit of how this thing looks like. We had a clip of a few minutes that I'd like to share with you now. And if you stay tuned, in 1 second, there will be the video of the offices, the new offices. And here it is.
Nous sommes aujourd'hui dans une expérience 360.
Oh, can I see you there? You're like an ocean without land, not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it, so cold and warm. When you hold me, when you're close, I know
La coopétition, à savoir la contraction de compétition et de coopération, va être un des éléments du succès.
everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
Yeah, it's very nice, and you've seen a bit of how our new offices look like during this inauguration event. There's also a nice terrace that will allow us to run nice events together. The community aspect is still the most important aspect for us to preserve, to nurture, and to foster as an innovation community. So with that in mind, we really look forward to welcome you in our new premises, hopefully in physical soon. Maybe starting from next Café Croissant, maybe not, but in a few Café Croissant, maybe we will be able to do it again. So with that in mind, we can move to some news about our companies. And let me start with a medtech company that we have the pleasure to support since the very, very beginning. A team coming from CERN developed an incredible technology for addressing with a non-invasive treatment heart arrhythmias issues. Still, this disease, heart arrhythmias, accounts for up to 20% of deaths worldwide. So 1 out of 5 people dying today is still due to heart issues. So this non-invasive treatment is going to be integrated in any radiation therapy machine, and it's really a breakthrough, a technology breakthrough. Why we are mentioning this project to you today? Because I just received a 2.5 million Swiss franc for a European innovation grant. This is not only a great news for the company, which proves the solidity and of their technology and the expectation that all the industrial and scientific community has towards that, but it has also the sign that in Switzerland there is an interest from European funds to have access to good projects. We always invite our companies to go and try to get this type of money, which is first of all a recognition of the legitimacy of the technology, the project, because it's a European commission that is deciding, and the committee decided by the European Commission about these funds. But it's also non-dilutive money. Non-dilutive money meaning that is a grant that allows you to develop without diluting your company. So what do you want to do more as an entrepreneur? So please go and check these grants. They are available also for Swiss companies. And actually at Fongit, we already have, I think, 4 or 5 companies who receive this type of grants. And it's something that is really important to look at. The second company we would like to talk to you about is Global M. So welcome Global M. They are just a new arrival into our supporting organization. They just joined, but they also joined some interesting industrial partners in Norway. Global M is a company specialized in advanced streaming technologies. What they do, they enable anyone with a smartphone to become a reporter and also to monetize on the videos they do and they can take. So the content is king. We always hear this mantra. This is true. And now we have one of the technologies that allow the content to be monetized the best. So embracing mobile technology in IP content allows Global M really to create a community of journalists. There is an acronym, is MOJO, so mobile journalism, MOJO, and this is a new trend that has been happening for some years now, and now with the support of the technologies is really accelerating. So Global M announced recently some major collaboration with some big names in Scandinavia, and we really congratulate this company for a very quick and rapid expansions that they are just delivering. So welcome to Fongit. The third company we would like to mention today is someone that we already know a bit. Why we know it's called Mikajaki. Mikajaki is in a world that is less and less demanding of contact points. You know, this contactless environment that we are hearing and reading more and more often. Mikajaki delivers the first world's automated ophthalmic diagnostic platform called iLib. So basically, you put in front of this machine, and then you have run all these different tests. They just got a CE mark for this device, and even more importantly, they also start the first installation. They already installed the platform in a very renowned ophthalmology clinic in Paris. So they're already starting deploying commercially. And what is surprising in this company is that even during this difficult period of crisis, of partial lockdown, or difficulties in engaging with clients, they are actually executing brilliantly their plan. So CE mark came into force even earlier than expected. The first commercial paying pilots are already in place despite the logistic complication. I think this company is proving that you can make it even under difficult circumstances. With that in mind, we have a short video of this company, so to present you how this project looks like, and just to see from one of the founders of this project presented how the solution works. Video.
Pour résumer ce projet, nous avons conçu un système d'intelligence médicale en 3 étapes. La première étape est un assistant virtuel qui combine de très nombreux symptômes permettant d'identifier de très nombreuses maladies au moyen d'un algorithme logique qui permet de minimiser le nombre de questions qui seront posées à chaque patient pour établir son profil diagnostique préalablement à l'examen. Le patient est ensuite dirigé vers une station automatisée, on va démarrer le film, qui permet à la fois de reconnaître l'identité du patient, d'adapter sa taille à la morphologie du patient, à la fois sa taille et la morphologie de son visage, et d'utiliser plusieurs machines de diagnostic du segment antérieur et du segment postérieur pour acquérir de façon complètement automatique différentes données. L'examen dure typiquement moins de 6 minutes et permet de recueillir plus d'une centaine de mesures sur l'œil, avec des données de topographie, d'abérométrie, de réfractométrie, de tonométrie, d'imagerie de la rétine à la fois photographique et OCT, d'OCT antérieur et de biométrie. Et donc, au travers de cet examen qui dure quelques minutes seulement, on est capable d'obtenir environ 90% des données qu'utilise un ophtalmologiste pour aboutir à un diagnostic et une prise en charge. Toutes ces données sont résumées dans un rapport très compact qui fait état non seulement des données primaires issues des machines, mais également des calculs permis par l'intelligence artificielle, par exemple pour la prédiction automatisée de la réfraction subjective et la prescription de lunettes ou de lentilles de contact, et le calcul des implants intraoculaires. Vous voyez que ce premier rapport intégré est extrêmement compact et permet aux patients de s'orienter directement vers le spécialiste concerné par le problème qu'il peut poser.
So you have seen a bit how this solution works, presented by Dr. Assouline, who is one of the co-founder and a renowned ophthalmologist in France and internationally. Hopefully, we're going to see this around very, very quickly also in Geneva. So thank you, Mikazaki, and again, congratulations. Another company we should congratulate for the execution of their plan despite the difficulties is VLabs. VLabs delivers an augmented reality solution for geolocalized data that can be used for optimizing the installation and geolocalization of assets. Assets, I mean physical assets, pipes and tubes on the ground. So it has been used for all the public working elements related to installations, what is called blue collar technologies. They are striking many good commercial clients, and very quickly, to prove the compelling value proposition or their solution. And they just announced a collaboration with Deutsche Bahn, so the Autoroute, so the highways of Deutschland, for implementing their solution. So another proof that despite the situation, you can make still good business. So well done, VLabs, and congratulations to you as well. Some other news about growing up companies from our side. We would like to mention here in particular one, Aptisen. Aptisen is a very nice history of Fongit, because it comes from the same team that launched Anteis back at the beginning of 2000. They exited from Anteis to the Merz Group, and they started again a new company. They launched Aptisen in 2014 for developing the same technologies, which is related to hyaluronic acid-based gel. This time for injections in the joints, so for knees and for more osteoarthritis linked pain. So I mean, I'm getting older, and so I start to feel a bit pain in the knees, and I think I'm gonna start to use this probably very soon as well. But what is the message here? I think the message is that the company is developing very fast now, is really growing solid revenue stream, and they're thinking to go IPO soon as well. This is the message. The message is that they started in 2014, so it took more than 6 years to develop this project. Now they start to see the commercial results coming, and they start to plan about the next step. The next step might very well be IPO, and this is what they announced on an article on Bilan. You can find it on the Google. You just put Bilan Aptisen, and you will come out with this article. And also because they have a pretty extraordinary CEO managing the company, Carole, you see here in the picture. So we also welcome woman entrepreneurship to be more and more present in our supporting organization. So congratulations, Aptisen, and thank you for what you're doing. That's all for the news about our companies. Very quickly and rapidly about what has been happening at Fongit recently. In particular, we started again with some investors event. In particular, we had the opportunity to welcome SICTIC, which is today one of the largest business angel group in Switzerland. It is focused on ICT investments, and only last year, one investment out of 3 done in Switzerland was with SICTIC investors. Just to let you understand the idea and realize the idea of the impact that SICTIC has been able to develop with the time. And they started actually 5 years ago. So in October in 2015, they started. So we can celebrate the anniversary of SICTIC. It took 5 years to become one of the leading business angel group in Switzerland, and the leading, definitely, angel group in Switzerland for ICT investments. We had the opportunity to present some of our companies, including companies not supported by Fongit. The quality was extremely good. So I think you can go on the website from SICTIC to see the details of the company presenting, and also to get additional information if you want. And if you're an investor listening to us now, I strongly invite you to go and have a look at the SICTIC website, because there you're going to find a very good source of information. And if you have troubles in deal flow and scouting the good gems that we have in Switzerland, it's better to do earlier sooner than later. And in that case, you should definitely go and be part of SICTIC. So investments was one of the focus in terms of events last month. We also welcomed the Plan Les Ouates visit. So the community Plan Les Ouates is supporting Fongit as well. And we were happy to show our new offices to a delegation and having some companies presenting. You recognize from the logos some of the companies I just mentioned, like V-Labs and Mika Jaki, but also we had Flicka presenting their new solution for omni-channel integration between existing commerce and digital, which is of course a big issue nowadays, and Poppety delivering artificial intelligence for the real estate business. So thank you, Plan Les Ouates, again for supporting our mission. And then I think I'd like to conclude with 2 interesting information. The first, that might not come as a surprise. For the 10th years in a row, Switzerland placed at the first place for the Global Innovation Index that comes from the World Intellectual Property Organization. So it's the 13th annual Global Innovation Index, and for the 10th time in a row, Switzerland placed number 1. So fantastic. So that's a great news. It's a great news because we also see some improvement in the VC deals. So that's an important element when it comes to see the entire value chain from intellectual property creation, from the IP to the VC and to the market. So this is extremely important. So the transformation of an idea, an invention, a research into economic impact. So this is good. And we also see some slight improvement in where still Switzerland is a bit lagging behind, which is the collaboration between corporate and startups. But this is a great news. And this great news must be linked with another important news that I think is very valuable, and is this one, that we need to acknowledge in Switzerland about the tangible contribution to innovation coming from foreigners. So from a recent study conducted at the Collège du Management de la Technologie de l'EPFL in the Canton de Vaud, more than 30% of the patents produced in Switzerland, created in Switzerland, and registered in Switzerland between the period 2002 and 2015, more than 30% come from holders of a working permit B, C, L, or G. So that means that either people coming from nearby Europe, people with a short stay working permit, or people with longer stay working permit like the B and the C, they have one out of three patent register comes from them. What is the message here? The message is that as Switzerland, of course, closing the border doesn't make any sense. And of course, we're not doing politics here. Fongit is not a political environment. Politics is a too noble art to be just underestimated and just underplayed. It's too noble political. But what is important here is a fact. On a fact-based element, immigration and good immigration fosters the creation of value, and innovation is one of the main drivers, if not the main driver, of value creation in advanced economies. So this is a fact. And now it is 1/3 of patents, 30% of patents in Switzerland delivered by foreign permit holders. We are finally aligning with what is more common in more advanced innovation hubs such as United States or UK. Okay, so with that in mind, and I think it was important to mention this. So not because I'm an immigrant as well, but because I think I believe in that. I'd like to move on Geneus. Why Geneus? And I think if Ingeborg is already there, she could just start. Voila, here you are, Ingeborg. Because I like to congratulate and to celebrate the 4th anniversary birthday celebration of Geneus. It was created in 2016 in September. I remember that James was having a broken leg, and you do that normally when you make a theater performance or a music performance. You wish people, you break your leg, from the Shakespearean time. And in fact, James for really broke his leg and inaugurated Geneus. And since then, 4 years along the way, and only great success. So the ball is to you, and we'd like to hear you more, and we'd like to hear also how the celebration went.
Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, it was interesting. The celebrations weren't as expected in the sense that we had to do it online. We still had our wonderful cake. So you see the one that we actually ate after the celebration, so which was lovely. But we did celebrate some very good news. Indeed, the opening of Campus Biotech Innovation Park. We celebrated all the startups and foundations that have created new innovations that contribute to the social and economic impact here in the Geneva region in life sciences. So Geneus itself, we are obviously a small part of this building. We supported over 80 projects that we initiated in life sciences. And the alumni, indeed, as you mentioned before, they include famous, right now famous startups such as OneDoc, Therapet, Inverse, Ibamed. So really good things coming from this place. So we're very happy with that. And if you actually want to read more about this, we're launching our newsletter today. So if you would like to receive it, my colleagues Trisha and Kelly are putting the link in the chat. So you can check it out. Then on other news, we have the Global Entrepreneurship Week coming, where we will celebrate entrepreneurship globally. And in Geneva, there are always many events in large organizations, research institutions, and the supporting organizations, such as ours as well. So we usually have an open day and a tour and a Café Croissant, and we'd love to do the same, and we actually will do the same this year, but you know that since we have some restrictions, so we'll have limited number of physical visitors. So please sign up. We do a first come, first serve basis, and we'd love to see you here and share a croissant with you. And for those of you who cannot physically come, there will be a broadcast of the event as well, so you can really get to know the startups in this building. So now for some news from entrepreneurs who are currently supported at Geneus. So you may be aware that a lot of problems arise when people don't take their medication, and actually it's a surprisingly large percentage of people who don't take the right doses of the medication that they need. And this is not only due to the patient, there's a whole process before that that needs to be done properly. And those for patients are exactly tackling that issue, and they are developing a comprehensive service from the moment that the medicine gets produced to the moment that the patient takes it in. And they recently won the La Source Innovation Lab Prize, issued by the Institute Haute École de la Santé, allowing them to test and further develop their online platform, their platform. And actually the founders of Those for Patients, who are highly experienced pharma professionals, they're also providing online seminars. So the next one will be about food supplements. And we're also putting the details in the chat. And we're very proud to be able to support Empowerment Lab, who are in their turn supporting hundreds of girls who want to develop their skills to be future-proof. This is an amazing team, great project, and they're fast-growing, and they empower girls with digital skills to become successful and dynamic women of tomorrow. And due actually to the COVID crisis, they fast-tracked and successfully launched a project they've been working on to allow their classes in a virtual setting. And they this week actually completed and they delivered their latest course on digital art and game creation for French-speaking girls between 12 and 15 years old. So if you're a mom like me and you have daughters, you would really wish them to be, learning the skills for tomorrow. You can also sign up to their courses which are taking place online. And if, for example, you haven't figured out what you want to do in the autumn holidays coming up, and you want to have a meaningful activity for your daughters, please check out their courses. They're great. They have, a team of engineers, human rights lawyers coming from large corporations, WHO, CERN. It's really fantastic, and they bring their content in a very, very fascinating, inspiring way. So Iamtura, you've heard already that they had a fantastic Series A round of over 20 million euros, and their latest news is that they also received a UT Connecting Industries 2020 grant, totaling about 300,000 euros. And this program supports the development of their autotaxin inhibitor in cancer and fibrosis. Some other exciting news from the building. Again, we have a new, it existed for a while, but they have fantastic news. Core Therapeutics, who are a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, and they're developing drugs for rare diseases. And they announced this week, in fact, the closing of a $16 million Series A financing round exclusively from leading healthcare investor Omega Funds. So you can read more about that in the link that is provided. And as we know, Relief Therapeutics, also in this building, who are developing solutions for this acute respiratory disease following a COVID-19 infection, they announced a partnership for global commercialization of their Relief 100 and a selection of commercial partners, a collaboration between Relief and Nurix. And lastly, we have Goodwill. You know Goodwill perhaps already. They're quite famous. They have about 1.5 million users active worldwide. they're the kind of the LinkedIn for young people who want to display their skills, also to ensure a better career path. And they, during August and September, they had the Better Together program. This was 5 weeks of inspiring challenges, speakers, top speakers, and community content available exclusively on Goodwill. And it was very surprising, and that the Nigerian members not only were the all-round winners of the competition, but also were mostly present than any other country. So congratulations to Nigeria. If you want to learn more about Goodwill, check out their website. Now, we all heard about in Switzerland, well, in the world, the developments around COVID. Everybody's following it very closely, the new measures that are going to be taking place. And the Geneva Pharma Network, which is a network of over 1,000, or I think even about 2,000 right now, local pharma professionals who are meeting occasionally and sharing interesting content. Their next event is about diagnostic treatments and vaccines, and focus on EU pharma policy in times of COVID-19. So check out this event, and if you haven't signed up to the Geneva Pharma Network, you can always do that and by going to the link provided. And lastly, we have BioAlps, our wonderful, because Antonio, you mentioned that Switzerland is still not extremely well in connecting the innovators with the industry. Well, our partners BioAlps are your perfect partner if you're in life sciences for that. And they organize their yearly networking day. And obviously this time it will be COVID-proof. And this afternoon event will focus on BioAlps' community strengths and innovation, and its ability to grow and develop innovative healthcare solutions in medtech, biotech, and digital health, despite the challenges faced with the new coronavirus. November 9th, and details in the chat box. And I think that's it for us, and I'll give the word back to you, Antonio.
Yes, thank you, Ingeborg. And I hope we can know a bit more if there is any question for you later on. I think that now we might see if there is still someone at the cafeteria at Fongit. Yes, here he is, and I'm still inviting you because I'm going to now to pick up some croissant there. And James, what's boiling for you and for our activity at Fongit?
Well, the first thing is, this experiment where they put a kid in front of a sweet and say, look, you can hold 5 minutes, then you'll get 2 sweets. Well, I'm here in front of my tray of croissant and it smells so good, but I'm holding out. So, Antonio, you mentioned that, at Fongit, we're always trying to innovate our support and improve it for our startups to make sure we're giving the best support possible. And we've been doing this with our trainings. We've managed to work with Arcadia, who are the architects of change, and they're the best training we've been able to find in the world for how to have impactful client meetings. So we've been running a series of workshops about how to flex to your partner's preferred communication style, how to actively listen to the right questions to make sure that you're developing the right solution for them and get their buy-in. And the next session will be about how to deliver your message with more impact. So that's going to be on the 3rd of November at lunchtime. So you can just virtually zoom in and get the best trainer coming in from the UK. I can't tell you how much this normally would cost if you went to a business school. And we're very lucky to have this sponsored by Plan Les Watts so that we can offer you attendance for free. So please, if you're thinking about how to have better meetings with better conversion rate, we can really recommend this next workshop. Other startups that have attended these workshops in the past have found it very valuable. And our alumni from workshops with Arcadia include some of the best CEOs that we have here present. And the ones we ran in the past, you have people like Goodwill, Proton Mail, etc. So very powerful. So we'll be covering the 3 stages of communication, something called a persuasive cycle that convinces people that your solution will be the most helpful for them. And then also how to use the right voice and body and gestures to convince in a compelling manner. So please sign up and please remember to join. They're really great interactive workshops. So another training that we're able to offer, I got an email on Monday from Venture Lab. So Innosuisse runs the best workshops for people that are about to create their company and those that are getting ready to grow their company. And so they're coached by 15 experts, and it's over 5 days that are spread out. I think pretty much everyone in the top 100 Swiss startups have attended these courses, and they're by domain. So if you're an ICT, there's a course for you. If there's in advanced engineering, if you're in medtech. So we're lucky because there are a few free spaces on the courses that are just coming up. So we've got business creation for ICT, which will be in Geneva. So part physical, part online. Business creation medtech, which will be in Lausanne, and business growth. And what you'll be covering is how to deliver a unique customer value proposition, having a compelling pitch, defining your early stage business development plan, how to build the right team, and then the funding. So that's the creation part. And then if you're in the growth phase, how to come up with the right marketing strategy, generating leads for sales, how to run your startup in a professional manner, and then again, how to pitch well. So we can really warmly recommend that, and there are a few free spaces. So if you are available on those dates, just sign up and go for it. You can see the link below, innosuisse.venturelab.ch trainings. So thanks for them for reminding us about that opportunity, and we look to see you there. And we have the Global Entrepreneurship Week that Ingeborg mentioned earlier. Yeah, so this is held in 170 countries with 35,000 events, and it's about celebrating innovators and those that support innovation and entrepreneurship. So anyone that's listening now, this is a highlight of our calendar. And in Geneva, it's the 10th year in Geneva. There'll be, last year there were 54 events with 3,500 participants. So really a wealth of every aspect of entrepreneurship that you can imagine. At Fongit, we're celebrating that by having a great Fongit Force workshop on negotiations. It's going to be delivered by someone that trains Procter & Gamble on how to purchase. So David is a really great trainer, and he'll demystify negotiations, making it a pleasant experience and one that is good for you and your counterparty. So we had him once live 18 months ago, and we said, okay, we have to do this again for a bigger audience. So we'll be doing that with a small physical component and online as well via Zoom. And of course, we'll have our next Café Croissant to celebrate the event as well. So all the events will be going up on liberezvosidées.ch. And we're really looking forward to seeing you at Global Entrepreneurship Week in November. So how to hear about the best news and keep in touch, how to know about what are, of the 100 events, what are the really good ones for tech entrepreneurs. The answer is simply to follow us on our social media. Fongit put out a great newsletter last Thursday. If you haven't read it, I really can warmly recommend it. I'm at Fongit, I read it, I learn stuff. So really sign up to that and breeze through it. It will make sure you stand head and shoulders above other people as an innovation professional. And also Geneus, as Ingeborg mentioned, Geneus's newsletter, which is a 1-year review of the life sciences news in Geneva, will be coming out later today. So follow us on these platforms to get the best insights on what's happening in Geneva startup scene.
Okay.
So with that, let's open the floor to questions and bring Ingeborg back into the studio.
Yeah, thank you, James, for this. Actually, for the audience, you see that we just moved in new offices, and we still have to iterate a bit our small issues. The voice of James was a bit bumpy, so he tries to, he has the croissant, but he has less Wi-Fi, so there is always a trade-off in life. But I hope you managed to get him properly. Any question? Do you see any question from the floor?
So I'll sign language this one to you, Antonio.
Yeah.
If you can hear me, I will speak slowly. So last meeting, we had the question about, in these uncertain times, how can we have a clear business plan? How can we propose a path of action? And you started talking about multiple scenario planning. Is this still relevant? And can you remind us a bit about the principles behind it?
Yeah, thank you for this question. I mean, is it still relevant? Yes, more than ever, actually. It is relevant. Running scenario, doing scenario planning is now probably the thing that will save most of the companies moving forward. In general, with startups, we feel it a bit less. Why? Because startups are by definition more agile and are able to react faster and easier. However, since it's going to be probably a second wave coming, I think that the major mistake that any business at any level, from a big company to the startup, that can do now is to find itself unprepared for what is coming. So the first time the surprise was tolerated, it was fully understandable. Now it would be a mistake, a huge business mistake with even dramatic consequences. Again, for larger companies, that would be deadly. For smaller companies, it would be probably easier to deal with, but still extremely important. Therefore, our recommendation is always the same: running parallel scenarios and trying to keep, these sometimes opposite thoughts valid at the same time in mind, and then selecting them by moving forward. I was reading, just as example, I was reading a report from Fitch recently, or 2 days ago, regarding the scenarios. And you see the way they plot, Fitch is the rating company, the way they plot the economy moving forward with all the trends are basically with different scenarios. And the issue is that scenarios are radically different. With all the political elements in place, the US elections, it's very complicated to predict what you don't know, in particular the future, as you know, James. So in the end, our only recommendation is running different scenarios in parallel and be able to switch from one to the other as quick as possible, because the mistake that you can accumulate are unfortunately as exponential as the virus can be. So this is probably the only advice we can provide. And we're doing that also. We're doing, of course, this with our companies, with our portfolio and supported companies. We really help and trying to define and even to force entrepreneurs to think a bit in this way, in a different scenario mode. But also at Fongit internally, we run different scenarios. And so I think is a sane and healthy way to guarantee always this flexibility required for surviving.
Thank you for that. And if you are a startup, two things to bear in mind. The first one is that our coaches are there for you to strategically make the best decision possible. And science right at 1%. Once is never, twice is always. So with a second wave, then people will believe this is the way things will continue to be. So if you already started adapting your strategy towards COVID, this second wave will actually make your new proposition more compelling. So it's very powerful if you are on the right side of adapting COVID there. So please reach out to your coaches and to Fongit and Geneus so that we can help you come up with the best plan to grow and build your business.
Yeah.
So we have a question about is Fongit opened to French startups?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we are always open. We don't run programs, so it's an evergreen program. You apply whenever you want. However, as a French startup, we support companies that establish in Geneva. So our mandate from the state of Geneva is to foster and to develop companies with a local impact. So Geneva is the scope. I would also say that more and more we see very good and extremely good projects coming from nearby France. So all the university, Grenoble, Lyon, also southern France, there is real technology there. And in that situation, we try to have the companies set up here, but not losing the relationship with the academies over there, which is extremely important. Our business is not dragging or transplanting things. Is really trying to get the best of the world and the two worlds or the three worlds. The fact that companies are multi-localized is multi-located is de facto the new normal also for most of tech startups. In particular, in this COVID circumstances, this is even more encouraged for evident reasons. Yeah, so yes, you're welcome to apply.
So if there's a strategic reason that you want to be in Geneva, we'll be happy to help you. And we do believe that because of our innovation community, proximity is important because you want to interact with other entrepreneurs that are on the site and active, because that's even more powerful than coaching, is learning from your peers.
Yeah. Maybe I've got a question for Ingeborg. Ingeborg, you're probably the closest of us, among us, to the universities, to the center, the CERN, the HUG in Geneva. So how are they starting to prepare for this new wave? But I mean, from an entrepreneurship standpoint, so do you see lowering down the application from entrepreneurs or increasing? How do you see this evolving also for our feed of new projects coming from those center of excellence?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Antonio. It's interesting because we see on Geneus level, supporting level, we see really an increase in applications and an increase in activity in the projects that we currently have. You may see I'm a bit tired. No, but the reason why I think this is happening is because obviously entrepreneurs who just start their businesses, they are in search of a business model. So they have this open mindset, they look for opportunities. And the markets are changing, the situations are changing, which actually opens up many new opportunities. So in previously saturated markets where there was no way to get in or very difficult, all of a sudden there are ways in. And entrepreneurs, they see that, they feel that, and they start working on it very quickly. So in that sense, the entrepreneurs kind of use any massive change to their advantage as much as possible, which is really motivating to see. Another reason where it's very positive to be surrounded by your fellow entrepreneurs, because we really feel that positive energy here. Change is in a way good. Now, in terms of institutional change, well, we're running our workshops online. They're embracing digital tools like you did with the 360, which, by the way, I followed from a distance. It's incredible what technology can offer now to make meetings more personal. So obviously they're fast tracking all these the deployment of these tools. That's on the other side. Yeah.
And actually this afternoon, Ingeborg and I will be running a workshop for 70 students, of which I think 45 are in Geneva, and the other ones are participating from abroad, and they're working on sustainability challenges, particularly in water. So one of the things that we're seeing with COVID is the twin challenges of sustainability and then also inequality. And so there's a lot of activity in this space. And so we're seeing that the universities now are connecting with us and making sure that we can already sensitize these researchers so that they can identify what could be the winning solution that will help make the world a better place in a few years' time. So those things continue, and the future will arrive. We're just trying to make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, with this one, I think it's the best closing we could get. I don't know if there is another question. I would like probably to add one final point. We of course we foster and we encourage all the entrepreneurs to talk to our coach for dealing with this complicated times. As you know, because we mentioned that in the previous Café Croissant, Fongit managed a financial measure in combination with the state of Geneva and the federal government for supporting startups during this period of crisis. The measures ended the 31st of August. However, we had very good results in Geneva because we managed to support about 20 projects deserving the support, and in particular being in the framework of the law that was supporting them, which is technology related to sustainable development goals, in particular environmental technologies and life science technologies. But what I'm trying to say here is that together with the state, we are thinking about extending this measure only at the cantonal level for the companies that are suffering for COVID and are still and are in these sectors I just mentioned. So next month, I hope and we hope that we can present this additional financing measure supporting companies during this crisis. Okay, so I'm just giving you a spoiler for keeping you hooked for the new episodes of the series.
You watch too many series, Antonio.
Yes. So with that in mind, so stay tuned, and I don't know if there's another question. I think I'd like to thank, as usual, as always, and as more than ever, all our team, of course, James and Ingeborg that they were there contributing to this Café Croissant. All the team we have in the director seat, Eveline, and all the Marcom team also supporting us into this. And thank you very much. So we are going to see each other next month for the Café Croissant, and preparing for we're not there to the panettone yet, but we're getting gently there. So until then, goodbye for me and from me. Okay, I'm coming. Thank
See you guys soon.
Thank you, James. Bye-bye.
Bye.